So let's just settle into our meditation posture and just allow yourself to bring whatever it is that's going on. And try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And check your feet. If they're down on the ground, have them a hips width apart. Sits bones are raised, shoulders on top of the hips. Hands in the meditation mudra. Imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. You just imagine someone's standing above you very gently, lengthening that string of pearls. So you're really just also stretching out the neck and all the muscles along the back of the spine. The head is very slightly tipped forward, so you can hinge forward from the very top of the spine, almost at that place where the jaw is. Just tip your head slightly forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, and the tip of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. And just relax the jaw. Lips are slightly apart. Let's bring your attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the area around the mouth. And bring your attention to the back of the head where the occipital bone is and just release any tension there. And then just notice how that impacts on your face, the facial muscles, the ears, the temple, inner ear, back of the tongue. Just all let it release. Any tension in the back of the neck, just let that go. And particularly for those people who have been sitting at a computer today, think about very gently lengthening your ears, like someone's pulling you by either ear, with like the Dr. Spock ears. It's very gently lengthening you and gliding the head back so your ears are aligned with your shoulders. So we tend to poke our heads forward. Relax the back of the neck, the shoulders, the shoulder blades, allow them to drop down. Relax the throat, the chest and the belly, limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. It's a little bit cooler as you're inhaling. And just become aware of the sounds that are in your environment. So our crickets are talking quite loudly tonight. Some of them are singing. So then just bring your mind very gently back. Allow those sounds to be there. Just bring your mind back very gently as the sounds just kind of fade into the background. Your attention is redirected. And notice the thoughts as they're arising, abiding, falling. And try and put some space in between those thoughts. And so whatever it is that's arising in your mind, just allow it. Try not to judge it or have opinions about it. And then those thoughts flow, and just you can watch them as a very curious, interested, objective observer. And place yourself on the bank of the river, knowing that you're free from the river. Let's bring to mind now all these people of our life, our very dear loved ones, our beloveds, spouses, children, your best friends, colleagues. Maybe there's some close Dharma friends in that group. And then there's people in your life who you have some difficulty with. And then there's our strangers. People who we pass, they're fleetingly in and out of our lives. We don't think about them much. And the things to think about these groups of people is that they can all change place at any time. And the one that you love today could be the one that you don't see any qualities in at all tomorrow. And karma can change as fast as that. And they're all equal, like you and like me, like all the sentient beings, like the crickets. Because they're all having this incredible wish for happiness. They wish to avoid suffering, and they have this phenomenal capacity for this enlightened mind. Everybody has it. It is who you really are and who you've always been. We just kind of need to get in touch with that part of ourselves. So I think we'll do this meditation this evening for the benefit of all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified, and this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we're going to create positive energy with our mind instead. So first we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. And so we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. So we know from our present suffering that we don't want any more. Who wants that? So we think logically it makes sense to pull out these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. We can also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So we turn to the Buddha, the doctor, who has the methods we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also think that this is your teacher manifesting in this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this white lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like your enlightened potential. Born out of delusions, yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful, radiant face, ageless, youthful. His eyes are long, they're shaped like lotus petals, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the unity of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed. So bring someone to mind, and those who have harmed us. And although a little bit more difficult, we develop compassion for them, particularly because they will suffer as a result of the harm they have done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So next we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine. You can think of it like that. Doing the practice, visualizing and recitation of the mantra. So we start with the body. Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully, or a waterfall. And it comes from his heart. And this arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of all your lower offices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and useless speech and lying, talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. Excuse me, all of these things we do with our speech, all purified by this nectar and this mantra pouring out of the top of the head quite forcefully as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Duda Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Supokaya Mibowa Anarakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Satame Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. So next is a purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on the light, that light instantly dispels the darkness in the room. So it's just the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all the depression, anxiety and attachment and grasping and neediness and jealousies and bitterness and grudges, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabala Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Mibowa Sutokaya Mibowa Sipokaya Mibowa Anurakta Mibowa Sawasiti Mipi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum ha 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 ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dudu Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of your suffering, all of us, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified. And think now, there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is a purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So we can imagine that light and nectar is pouring into us as we, if you wish, recite a couple of mantras for each of those visualizations we've just done, the body, the speech and the mind, or just imagine light and nectar pouring into you, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mipiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. Now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So next we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's a really crucial one, and this is the determination to not harm with our body and our speech and mind. And so without this determination, we are going to keep doing the same old things, the same habits. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm again, is like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new and different directions. Actually, new and different neural pathways are formed. And the old neural pathways will start to atrophy as we are no longer using them. So it really is not just a kind of a psychic, spiritual experience. It's actually a physical experience in the brain. So we can just think of something that we wish to work on. So perhaps something to do with a speech, too many chocolate biscuits, whatever it is. Think I'll just refrain from this for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, for an hour, for half an hour, and then start to think about rejoicing about the progress that you're making. And you'll start to see changes pretty quickly, if you haven't already. Okay, and this determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. And Vajrasattva is delighted with us, and wanting to merge with your mind, he melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And Lama Yeshe used to call that union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, because we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And perhaps we can also think that the way things are appearing to you right now might not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lamsa Rinpoche. O Tub Shul Chang Shin Jam Gon Galloway Tenzing Kyong Pelaway Kunzo Dog Porze Chog Sum Kuraway Legmon to a Drup Pa dag sog dulaje gondu jab ten shog. Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please live long. For Geshe Cherub, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Gosh, we're nearly at the end of another week of our lives. Amazing. And so, of course, Queen Elizabeth died today. And for those of us who are born in Australia, most people I know who are under 90 have had her in their lives at some point or other since they were children. So it's really interesting. I was talking to Judith, who is 89, and she said she's had the Queen and Princess Margaret in her life since she was about 4 or 5 years old. So the country is mourning probably right now, but anyway, so we think of dedicate this practice also to Queen Elizabeth's precious human rebirth. And something that was really interesting was actually there was a rainbow around near Buckingham Palace. Some of you may have seen that reported. I think that's very curious. Anyway, she certainly was very good at serving her country almost up until the day she died, so kind of incredible. Okay, that's enough of Britain for all of you Americans. Lots of love, everybody, and I will see some of you tomorrow morning.